Advice needed. Sister-in-law is inviting herself to the Bachelorette. I, 35 female, am marrying James, 36 male, next year. His brother Matt, 34 male, has been married to Paula, 34 female, since before I met James. Paula is very nice, and we get along well when I see her, which is once a year for the holidays, as we live across the country from James's brother, sister-in-law, and parents, but we aren't super close for the rest of the year. We have very different interests and lives, and just don't really keep in touch. We FaceTime James's family every Sunday when Matt and Paula and my future father-in-law and mother-in-law all get together for dinner, and Paula will usually say hi and then go back to doing whatever she's doing. Paula and I exchange happy birthday texts on our birthdays, and occasionally she'll heart react a photo in the family group text. That is about the extent of our relationship. This is all completely okay with me. I don't feel the need to force a closeness that isn't there, and as I said, we all get along great when we go home for the holidays. I'm in the middle of planning my Bachelorette trip. We're not doing a bridal party or groomsmen, and I invited 6 close friends and family members who I have known between 8 years and my entire life. I mentioned something about the trip on the last FaceTime with James's family, and everyone was like, "That sounds like it'll be fun." And we moved on, and I thought nothing of it. But the next morning, James was chatting with Matt, who said in a very offhand way, Paula wanted to know if OP could send her the details for the Bachelorette so she can get her flights and stuff. James was very taken off guard and was like, I'll talk to her? And Matt was like, great, thanks, and then changed the subject. I am so baffled by this. Paula has never once given me an indication that she believes we are, or wants to be, any closer than we are. We hang out once a year during the holidays. I can't remember the last time that she asked me a question about myself. She didn't even text me when my dog died, and again, all of this is completely fine with me. I don't need my fiancé's brother's wife who lives a time zone away to be my BFF. But it truly never occurred to me that she would even want to be invited. If Paula were the one getting married, I would never in a million years expect to be invited to her Bachelorette, let alone assume I was invited. This all happened on Sunday/Monday, and I still just don't know how to respond to this, especially because Paula didn't reach out to me directly. Here's the part where I'm worried I'm being an asshole. The path of least resistance would of course be to invite Paula, but I just don't want to. The friends and family who are coming to my Bachelorette all have met each other already and mesh well and are extremely important to me. I am the only person in this group who Paula has met, and we have such a surface-level relationship that I feel that we barely even know each other. The trip is going to involve a lot of hiking and outdoorsy stuff in a location that is very special and nostalgic to me. Paula prefers to stay indoors and has skipped the family's annual Christmas walk every year that I have known her. I don't think that she would have a lot of fun, and I also don't want to be worried about her experience the whole time. And beyond all of that, there is a part of me that really resists capitulating to the expectations of someone who has not even told me directly that she would like to come. I would never ever dream of inviting myself to someone's Bachelorette, let alone doing so via a game of telephone. We're heading to James's family's place for the holidays next week, and I'm so anxious and truly don't know how to handle this. I really don't want to hurt Paula's feelings, but I want to be surrounded by my closest friends and family at my Bachelorette, and we just don't have that kind of relationship. Do I just leave it alone and wait for Paula to bring it up? Do I proactively sit her down to talk through it? Do I just get over myself and invite her? In the comments, Chaotic Whatever says, I don't think you're being a jerk. I also don't think she's being a jerk. I think it's very sweet that she wants to be included, or would assume that she should be. It may be a very innocent misunderstanding based on how it was talked about and where audio may have dropped on a call. Take the win in knowing that you have a sister-in-law who would literally get on an airplane to come celebrate you. That said, address this issue head-on and be kind. And do not make it sound like you're doing her a favor by not inviting her, i.e., oh well, it's not your kind of activity anyway. Reach out and say, hey, James mentioned that you were looking for Bachelorette details for travel plans. I'm really sorry, but I think we had a misunderstanding. This feels awkward to address, but my Bachelorette is just me and some of my oldest friends. I hope you understand. It means a lot that you would be willing to join, and I'm so lucky to be marrying into this family. I can't wait to see you at Christmas/the wedding/whenever you'll see her next. And OP replies, "Thank you. This is such helpful framing. I think this is a really good approach, and I'll try it. In going full panic mode, I somehow didn't even think about the possibility of this just being a misunderstanding. On the call, my father-in-law said something about a kayaking trip he took last year, and I said something like, 'Oh, we just planned a kayaking day in place as a part of my batch.' And everyone was like, 'Oh, that'll be fun,' and the convo moved on. It was truly so mundane that I was really taken off guard the next day." And Chaotic Whatever replies, "Another possibility is that she doesn't want to go, but was left unclear if she was expected to. She may have had her husband ask that question as a way of feeling it out without putting you on the spot. Good luck. It's tricky navigating those kinds of things for sure. I had a friend who I didn't invite who very clearly thought she was going to be invited, and I regret how I handled it. So, while it's awkward, tackle it head-on with honesty, and have fun at your party." Does anyone else have a feeling that it was the brother-in-law that wanted her to be invited? If that is the case, and OP has gone with this, "Oh, it must have been a mistake, sorry about that, I'm keen to see you next time we ever catch up," I highly doubt we're ever going to get the truth from the brother-in-law being like, "Yeah, you know what? I just wanted her involved, and you're an asshole for not involving my dear wife." I'd go as far as putting money on it. He's an evil person with evil intentions. That's sarcasm, please. Fantastic advice from Chaotic Whatever here. I don't think that this sister-in-law has any ill intention. I think that she is being led astray. She is, having some miscommunication going on there. Assumptions make an ass out of you and me, and thank God we will not let that happen in this story. And now, onto the update, about 20 hours later. Thank you to everyone who weighed in on my post. I appreciate all of the advice and thoughts, even from those of you who called me an asshole and/or privately messaged me to tell me to basically bully Paula until she uninvited herself. I will not be doing that, but thank you so much. What's wrong with people? After posting yesterday, I sat with my feelings and tried to figure out why I have such a strong "I don't want to invite her" response, given that we always have gotten along fine when we see each other. I came to the conclusion that the thing that was really bothering me was the indirectness of it all. I couldn't understand why Paula didn't just reach out to me herself, and it made me worry that I had done something to make her feel like she couldn't. But I also decided that it was more important for her to feel included than for me to have the perfect close-knit group trip that I had been envisioning. So, like everyone pointed out, it's just one weekend, and she will presumably be in my life forever. So I called her yesterday evening, the first time either of us have ever called the other lol, and the convo went like this. Me. "Hi Paula, I'm about to send over all the Bachelorette info, and I'm so excited that you'll be there. I just wanted to check in though and make sure that you know that you can totally reach out to me about things like this going forward. I hope I haven't done or said anything to make you feel like you can't, and if I have, I'd love for us to talk it through." And Paula, after a long confused silence, replies, "That's really nice of you, but I think there's been a miscommunication or something. I hadn't been planning on coming to your Bachelorette." Me, also confused, replies, "Oh, okay. I just thought, since Matt asked me to send you the info," and Paula says, "He what?" And for me, confusion intensifies, and Paula continues, "I'm going to talk to him real quick. Let me call you back." 10 very stressful minutes later, Paula called back and basically said that Matt got in his head about worrying that Paula was feeling hurt and left out, which she was not. She was like, "No offense, this trip sounds like my worst nightmare, lol." And he had the galaxy brain idea to parent trap us into thinking that Paula was supposed to come on this trip instead of just talking to either of us. The end result is that Paula has no desire to come to the Bachelorette and never did in the first place. Matt has apologized, and all this encompasses the most in-depth conversation about our feelings that we have ever had with each other. Growth. Gotta love a stoic Midwestern family. Paula and I are also going to get dinner over the holidays, which will be nice, and hopefully an opportunity for us to get to know each other better. Thanks again to everyone who gave their input, and sorry if you were hoping for a more dramatic update. In the comments, Okidoki654 says, I'm glad Paula felt comfortable turning you down. We might have been reading Help. My sister-in-law invited me to her bachelorette, but it sounds like my worst nightmare. Men. In all seriousness though, I'm glad that it worked out for you, OP. Was a decision made for two women about how they should feel and what they should do about it without actually talking to either of them about it first? Yes, of course it was the man who created this whole mess, but kudos to both women involved for being honest and upfront with each other about it instead of just going through the motions for someone else's sake. And I'm glad that all parties could talk it out and grow at the end of it all. Have a great trip, OP. I love this, especially sister-in-law's response, which you know is enough to spell an interesting conversation with husband while she gets to the bottom of it all. But all really nice. Hey idiot that I married, what did you say to your brother? Have you met me? A weekend outdoors with a group of people I don't know? What about that sounds like me? This was absolutely word for word the conversation when sister-in-law got off the phone. Oh god, embarrassing. Very much embarrassing. If I were her, I'd kill him for signing me up to a weekend of outdoors shit that I didn't want to do with a bunch of people that all have history with each other and they don't really want me there. What's going on with that? She'd be right to go off on the husband as well for that, because what was he thinking? Critical thinking absolutely lacking with that one. But with that all said, a post with two adults talking to each other in an adult fashion, fully communicating and resolving everything? Color me shocked. Crazy how that all works, huh? Thank you for the post, OP. Glad everything worked out in the end, and all the best going forward. Our next post is by user Banana, and it's titled, Am I the asshole here for saying no to my boyfriend's proposal because I hated the ring? I, 24 female, have been with my boyfriend, 29 male, for 4 years. We've been discussing marriage a lot lately, and I've sent him engagement rings I like so he could get a feel for what I'm into when the time was right. He proposed to me a few days ago, and while the proposal wasn't exactly how I imagined it, it was still very sweet. When he pulled out the ring, it was the complete opposite of what I like, and honestly, it was ugly. I hated it. I told him while I would love to marry him, I didn't like this ring, and felt like since I sent him so many I loved and he didn't pay attention to those details, it didn't bode well for a marriage. He told me that was pretty shallow and is hurt that I prioritized a ring over our relationship, and said that he spent a lot of time planning this proposal and finding the perfect ring. I feel bad, and now I think I should have just smiled and dealt with it because it's the thought that counts. Am I the asshole? OP adds in the comments, for context, here is my dream ring that I had sent him and made known that this was my dream ring. A $4,000 yellow gold diamond ring, $14K. Yeah, interesting ring, that one, on Etsy. And this is the one that he showed up with, a 0.5 to 5.0 carat princess cut moissanite engagement ring, $266. They say that is a similar ring to the one that he proposed with. In the comments, someone says, "You're the asshole. Big time. You don't deserve him. No man can live up to everything a woman has in her head about a proposal. As long as you believe he put thought and effort into it, anything else is gravy." And OP says, "I don't think he put thought and effort into it. It feels like he Googled diamond ring and bought the first one that popped up." Well, if that's what you think of him, it sounds like you have a bigger problem than just the ring. I can't imagine thinking so little of someone I was in love with. You're letting your expectations get in the way of giving the person you supposedly love the benefit of the doubt. And OP says, that's absolutely what it felt like. Like he went to the Zales website and bought the first thing he saw, and that hurt my feelings. I guess I hurt him in response. I'm the asshole. I get it. And someone else says, yes, you are the asshole. He gave you a ring that he got from his heart and his desire to be with you, and all you got is, ooh, that is an ugly ring. You must not love me. If you loved him, he could have gotten you a paper ring and it should have been fine. Seems like all you care about is the ring. Yeah, it's the thought that counts, but too bad you weren't thinking about anything but yourself. And OP says, it was ugly, it was ugly, it was the opposite of what I liked and I hated it. Another commenter says, hope you didn't love the guy too much because you just nuked your relationship because he didn't fit your preconceived notion of him giving you the ring you want. You shouldn't care about the ring. You just traded in a secure, comfortable relationship with a man who wants to marry you for the ability to show off for a few minutes. I've been married to my husband for well over 20 years. I don't even think of or notice my ring anymore unless I'm asked to take it off for some reason. I'd rather have him than a ring. You just threw down a huge red flag at how fickle and materialistic you are. You showed him that he came second to a ring. I hope it was worth it. You may never get a second chance. And OP says, I didn't want to show off. I wanted a ring that I could wear that I loved, that symbolized our love, and that I was proud of. The ring is the symbol of our love. It's that he didn't listen to anything that I wanted. That is the problem. I'm going to go against the grain of the commenters and be like, that was a gigantic price difference and a completely different style to what OP was asking for. I don't blame them for being upset. If I ask for a goddamn German Shepherd puppy and you give me a Chihuahua, I'm going to be cool with that. But in that situation, I'm going to say, what the hell is this? Where's my German Shepherd puppy? I wanted a big dog. I didn't want a little adorable Chihuahua. You weren't even listening to me. Do you even know who I am? This may be some weaponized incompetence, some bare minimum effort coming from this guy. If you guys are having this much of a blow up over something that could just easily have not even happened if he had just bought a ring similar to the one that you had asked him for in the first place, but you're not even able to bridge the gap and talk about this and diffuse the situation, are you sure that you guys should be getting married, like for real? Maybe take this as a sign to pump the brakes, talk about this in therapy, or call it quits if you're just gonna keep fighting. What a way to start off a happy marriage, huh? And now on to the update. I broke up with him. I've tried to have a discussion with him and he wasn't listening at all, and I realized I'm young and I'm pretty and I deserve more. I hope he finds someone who likes that ugly-ass costume jewelry ring. And in the comments, Plenty Hedgehog says, I get that the ring that she liked was expensive, but he could have easily gone for a similar style with more affordable alternatives. A ring with CZ, white sapphire, topaz, or moissanite, which is what he ended up choosing, in the same style, would have been just as budget-friendly as what he ultimately got. The issue isn't the cost, it's that they had discussed rings, and he completely disregarded her taste. This was supposed to be something she'd wear for the rest of her life, and his lack of care really shows what he thought of her, or rather how little he thought of her at all. But of course, Reddit always makes it into a gender thing. She's a gold digger, cries the incel brigade. In reality, it's just about wanting a partner who cares enough about you to get something that you actually like. Real talk, the ring that she linked as an example of what he picked out was not great. It does look like cheap costume jewelry that you get drop-shipped straight from China. Honestly, I wouldn't blame someone from turning down a proposal with that thing either. She said in the comments of that update that she sent him like 10 to 15 rings, some of which were in his price range of $150-ish. He didn't open those links or pay attention to her at all. I can't believe the comments saying that she's the asshole for that. There's a really weird phenomenon where women are just expected to be grateful that someone proposed to them. It doesn't matter if it's a ring that shows that they don't give a shit about your style. It doesn't matter if it's a fake ring that turns your finger green. I remember that one. It doesn't matter if they propose while they were sitting on the toilet taking a shit. You are expected to be grateful for that and to say yes. Anyway, I'm going to move on from that one. That's a bit of a shit show. I'm going to round this episode out with a Am I the Arsehole story that does not have an update. and it's by user, and that's fine, titled, "Am I the asshole for getting engaged after my brother's wedding?" So my brother and his now wife got married 3 days ago. A very small destination ceremony, under 15 people total. My now fiancé and I extended our trip after everyone went home and spent a couple of days exploring the Grand Canyon, a couple hours north of the wedding where he proposed. When I shared the news with my brother and now sister-in-law, he responded with hostility, saying that it looked like we were competing. I apologized, quickly realizing that he was advocating for my sister-in-law and that she felt hurt, although I'm truly failing to understand why. I also texted her a separate apology and explained that it was not our intent to encroach and just wanted to share the news with family, and that it's my belief that there's room for happiness for everyone. She did not respond. In response to my apology, my brother doubled down and said the timing and location were hurtful and that we shouldn't have planned around the wedding. In the comments, Abalone55 says, "Not the asshole. And I can see why you're trying valiantly to understand, but I'm not sure your brother or his wife will be able to give you a good reason for their reaction, because their reaction is wild. Sure, it's rude to propose at someone else's wedding, but that's not what happened. The fact that you and your fiancé got engaged a few days after their wedding before you flew home is a totally different thing. Also, the level of hostility in that message from your brother is nasty and definitely not normal. I'm so sorry that he treats you like that. Not the asshole. Your brother needs to calm down. The bride gets a day, her one wedding day. She does not get a location, a week, or anything else. She gets her wedding. That is all. You did not encroach, right? Sister-in-law probably got used to everyone making a fuss over her in the months leading up to that day and didn't want to let that go. Now they'll be making a fuss about someone else, and she is jealous. Not the asshole. You were proposed to days after the wedding, while exploring the state the wedding was in, and several hours away from the wedding site, and also this wedding was an elopement. I get that eloping has changed definitions from essentially marrying in secret and private to a generally small planned wedding, but she's throwing a tantrum as if this was an all-expense-paid luxury wedding in a rented locale, and that you were proposed to the same evening as the wedding, steps away from said wedding, and announced it in front of everyone. Yeah, they own neither the weekend nor the state. They have a stick up their asses. One stick, two asses, I'm going with that. You definitely gotta hit them with a petty response. There's definitely some pettiness that's needed. Oh, I'm sorry that you're together with the love of your life right now, enjoying married life. Shouldn't you be enjoying your goddamn honeymoon too? Oh, wow, my engagement is just more important than your wedding, huh? Crazy. You guys just locked me out of this area. Yep, I deserved that. I don't know. That's not really petty. That's kind of just arguing. Not the asshole, OP. Screw them. I hope everyone else in your family has your side and tells them to shut the hell up. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to end today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.